everything and everyone will all come to an end. And we are no exemption. Except change, that is. Around 2 to 2.5 billion years ago, when Earth was young and no leafy plants nor animals roamed the lands or swim the seas, while asteroids and destruction boiled the oceans or eradicated landscapes, there is still life abounding in the ocean called bacteria today. These are mostly anaerobic, meaning they don't need oxygen to make their food. Life is present in very simple forms then, until life wants more and expresses itself into more complex organisms as time goes by. Oxygen is a thing we can't live without now, even most of the animals in our lands and seas. But, during those early days, Earth has no oxygen roaming in the atmosphere. These are locked in water molecules or with iron in minerals. Yes, we can't live during the very young days of our Earth. Despite these simplicities, and in Earth as if not welcoming complex forms of life to thrive. A newcomer appeared that is photosynthetic, and that is cyanobacteria, which is also called blue-green algae. These newcomers turn sunlight to energy, and the waste product is oxygen. At first, the oxygen bonded with minerals and in the environment. They continued to flourish until the minerals, waters and air were filled with oxygen. It could be a good thing, but cyanobacteria is already like a poison to the anaerobic bacteria that consider oxygen as toxic to their life. Since the ocean is teeming with bacteria that don't need oxygen at that time, and some were on land, the oxygen produced by cyanobacteria that soon spread around caused a mass extinction of many species. Hence, this newcomer is like a poison to those who are alive at that time. This is called the Great Oxygenation Event. This is not the end, since the oxygen continued to increase, combining with methane, which kept our planet warm. As oxygen bonded with it and resulted to carbon dioxide, Earth entered a cooling state which caused a massive global ice age. It is not new to us that as harsh changes happen to the environment, most forms of life not yet able to adapt will all be eradicated in the process. Due to this, even the cyanobacteria's numbers declined. In all these mass extinction and destruction of species, some form of life remained. These are the organisms which could use the abundance in oxygen in the planet at that time. Oxygen at this period is not similar to ours today. With these surviving organisms which could turn oxygen with other molecules into energy, more microscopic plants lived, breed and grew faster. With the ever-expanding oxygen-burning plants that are prospering in this period, the anaerobic species or cyanobacteria died off. Though these organisms that brought oxygen in this Earth causing destruction and life didn't completely die out, they now stay in areas far from so much oxygen, like in the depths of the ocean. With these events, complex life forms emerged around the world in land or water, which would soon result to our present-day Earth. Why do I have to say these? This is an early lesson to us that amidst destructions and chaos, life finds its way in a stronger form that would keep evolving in the environment, like a ray of hope amidst the impending doom of our own race. Through our stained histories, we humans have caused bloodshed and death wherever and whenever opportunity arise, but in these darkness, the goodness in humanity also abounded. We often think that as we grow in education and knowledge, we could refrain from the actions of the flesh lusting over wars, greed and power. What is in store for us then? To this statement, what do you think will be the answer? As you go with that, let's go over the ways our world would end and what could we do.
Number 1. A direct hit to Earth. Once upon a time, or about 4.5 billion years ago, two planets crashed into each other, forming our Earth and Moon. The Mars-sized thing is called Theia by scientists. This wouldn't be nice picnic day, since even an asteroid the size of a city that hit the Gulf of Mexico ended the reign of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, giving us humans the chance to shine to glory. In the hypothesis, Theia and Earth's core and mantle mixed. In 2019, a new evidence suggested that Theia formed outside our solar system and Earth's water originated from Theia. If this happens again and Earth would collide or get a direct hit from a bigger or smaller planet, a new planet could be formed using the components of the two former planets as ingredients. The life forms on the previous planets would suffer destruction, but new forms of life could emerge in the new planet. Still, it's not always sure if a planet will really be a habitable one. However, the term life itself is a debatable one, and many evidences of new existence in our universe continues to question our own definition. This is so because there are life forms that don't need oxygen or the building blocks for life as we know it to exist, yet they exist anyway. In 2020, astronomers just discovered possible signs of life in Venus through the detection of phosphine, which can also be found in our intestines, penguins, and other microorganisms. Named under the goddess of beauty that can even be seen in the day from Earth, Venus is really a beauty from afar. However, as you get nearer to the planet and experience the toxicity, it's not that wonderful. In spite of this, many still speculate that like Earth, Venus may have also been a planet filled with water and life as we know it, but soon reached its end while the Earth is still burning hot at that time. When Earth was new, it was bombarded by asteroid 3.26 billion years ago that the oceans boiled. It is estimated that more of these have also crashed on Earth during the early days. This is because there are many objects around the Sun at that time that they crash on the planets in the solar system. The researchers knew this from fractures while studying a rock layer called Barberton Greenstone Belt in South Africa. We mostly focused on Mars, but the two before us could give us more insights into the unknown in the future as our technology also improves. Number 2. Instant dropping of oxygen levels on Earth. This will suffocate many life forms and organisms which need oxygen to live. These life forms will die out in time. It's different from climate change being worked upon by many millionaires or billionaires, individuals, programs, companies, and volunteers. After this, the ocean will dry out and the atmosphere's water will be removed, according to the study of scientists published in Nature Geoscience, once the reduction in oxygen happens. It will be very fast or drastic. This could mean if humans are still existing at that time, we don't have enough time to evolve into beings who don't need oxygen. Humans will be eradicated early by lack of oxygen. These will be caused by solar fluxes or exposure to the radiation of the sun, which would remove our oceans and water in about 2 billion years. For the rapid dropping of oxygen, the study said it could happen in about 1 billion years. Guess humans are still alive at that time? Number 3. Eventual great mass extinction of humanity. We've just been around for about 500,000 years from the very early predecessors of humanity, but look at our conditions now. Even the organisms which have survived destruction and creation billions and millions of years ago can't survive in our presence. We humans can make ways to destroy ourselves, animals and our environment and our whole planet in just decades. It's even a bit doubtful if we could even live for another 3,000 or even 500,000 more years. At that time, can the survivors still be called humans? Our extinction is inevitable since aside from our self-imposed destruction like wars, chemical weapons, environmental pollution, dangerous technology and more, we are also facing uncertainties in our space like asteroid strikes, planetary collisions or even being thrown out from our own orbit or solar system. As our Earth changes and all the species inside this blue planet experience extreme pressures for adaptation, evolution or mutation, those that will be able to survive future conditions will be those with the resources. Mutations or those who are more adaptable in a fast-changing environment. Many will die out, and for the survivors, they will still face more pressures like from their own species, food shortage, lack of resources, harmful chemicals and weapons. In a span of 10,000 or even 500,000 years, if human descendants are still existing and surviving, they could hardly be called humans then. If still sentient, their bodies, genes and intelligence level could already be different from us. What do you think will be their appearance, intelligence or emotional level at these times? Number 4. Boiling of Earth's. The slow evolution of life as we called it in our planet will soon come to its natural end. As our sun accumulates more helium in its core, it will soon heat up and expand. It will reach the point where the sun in the day could burn water molecules. Living organisms on land like ours will usually have to perish earlier in this condition than those in the depths of the oceans. Only those that could live in extreme heat will live on, since our planet Earth will be no more. But more like the very inhospitable planet Venus. If you are thinking of our future colony on Mars, if it's our sun we're talking about here, it would be really hard to be on or in Mars at that time, too. It has no vegetation or water like us, but they could soon solve this. Still, it's not a sure thing. Even in years to come, the Mars colony will have to rely on Earth for its survival in that planet. We are species from the collision, combining and experimentation of the things in space. Soon, we could also meet our end for the entrance of the newcomers in evolution and complex life as we know it. Number 5. Earth will cool down. There are 2 blobs inside our Earth that are being studied and monitored by scientists nowadays. Earth has a protective magnetic shield called magnetosphere made by its rotation that deflects energetic particles from the Sun. Earth's core will not last forever. If this happens, our atmosphere will be slowly blown away by solar winds and Earth will have the atmosphere like Mars since we'll lose our protective shield. 2. This shield is the magnetosphere of giant electric dynamo. Billions of years ago, Mars, which was once a water world or rich with water and thick atmosphere, suffered the same fate with its atmosphere. Due to this, if civilizations there existed then, it's hard to see any remnants now. It's fun to check videos and images sent by the rovers of NASA like Sojourner, Spirit, Opportunity, Curiosity, and Perseverance. Some areas have door-like formations, but of course it could just be our imaginations. There are information for the public and those that are kept confidential. So many people are still really curious about leaks or other secret information they could find around. It is fine to be open-minded about things and topics since we only existed for a short time in this space, we don't really know much. It's okay to wonder, be curious and question things. That's how many of the discoveries, developments, inventions, creations and innovations of humanity continue to grow with time. Number 6. Earth will be a barren rock like Mercury. Our Sun will soon run out of hydrogen in its core and will release more energy and become more luminous than it is today. All will be burned to ash and those planets before us will be devoured in this event. Our Sun will soon die and become a white dwarf as our Earth, devoid of what we called life, will just continue in its orbit around the dead Sun. When will this happen? This will be the fate of our planet in about 5 to 7 billion years from now. Number 7. Earth could be cast out or devoured in deadly orbits or space. Space is full of planets, stars, dust, gases and other things that form the universes we live in. From the discoveries of Earth's scientific community focusing on these matters, planets could collide, get swallowed, merged, or destroyed. Space objects can destroy each other, or even galaxies could merge or collide and form a new one from all the destruction. Our Earth is also not spared from this. There are many rogue planets that got kicked during their solar system formation and in simulations. It's stated that they could outnumber stars in the Milky Way at 100,000 to 1. These could wander into our solar system in different numbers in an unknown time. If a bigger planet or object passes us, we could be thrown out of our orbit or out of our solar system. We will be like a lost boat drifting in the wide ocean as a planet without an orbit, just roaming around the vast universe. For the surviving beings in these events, once the Earth is just roaming around, there will be extreme exposure to hot and cold at areas with or near stars or none at all. Our Sun, once dead, will become a white dwarf that still emits warmth. It's like a light bulb recently switched off that still releases heat. After billions of years it will become a black dwarf. Despite this, our universe is still too young at about 14 billion years old. We can't have a black dwarf yet. A black dwarf comes only into existence when after quadrillions of years a white dwarf finally loses its warmth and could no longer be seen since it emits no radiation at all. What a long time. It's at least 100 million billion years in the future. For now, even thousands of years or millions could be hard to estimate if we still exist then, so at this moment, it's nice to be grateful to our world and the good people and animals that we love. Enjoy the earthy smell of nature and the calming waves of the oceans. Have a peaceful and happy mind. Number 8. Closing in on a wandering black hole. Black holes still remain a mystery and it filled movies and books. What we know is that light can't escape from its event horizon. Earth being consumed by it is frightening because the effects could drastically affect us all, like natural phenomena all occurring at once. Black holes consume planets, universes and objects if these enter their event horizon, the point of no return. If not, they'll just be accelerated fast in their movement. Still, we don't really know what happens once an object got sucked into its core or in the point of singularity. No matter how small or big the black hole is, it could still give us troubles in our current technological and evolutionary state. As if we could immediately transfer our planet in case a black hole the size of our Mars appeared in our solar system with the event horizon nearing us. There are many theories by physicists once beings or objects reached the point of no return in the black hole. It could be that the atoms would be torn apart or stretched. And if in case us, we could arrive at the end of the universe or in a new one. Still, no one knows. And if it tears apart or stretches everything, even atoms, it would be bad for us humans to experience that. Though they stated you could escape by traveling faster than light, we don't have that technology yet. It would be different if we'll just be sent to another universe or dimension, etc. You might think going to another universe is fun. But there are many uncertainties, and a passing black hole could send us great devastations like tsunamis, earthquakes, weather disturbances, or out of the solar system. Yes, and there's a massive black hole in the center of our galaxy. When you're near a black hole you see things pass faster, but those who could see you observe that time for you is slowing down. So you feel like time is speeding up, but those in the opposite direction think that your time is slowing down. Could be good for anti-aging? Just kidding. Number 9. Final big rip, big freeze, or big crunch of the universe. Dark energy is still a mystery that baffled many scientists and individuals. It moves the objects in the universe faster and faster. Once this continues and increases more in speed, all things in the universe, even atoms and time, will be turned into radiation in about 22 billion years. There's a mathematical model for this, and the Big Rip theory is by Marcello Desconzi. There are also other theories like the Big Freeze and the Big Crunch. For the Big Freeze, it states that when our universe or universes grow so vast that gases are spread thin, no new stars can form, which also supports warmth and forms of different life in different worlds. Since there's no energy, nothing new also happens, and time just passes like that, nothing happens. For the Big Crunch, instead of the continuous increase in expanding of the universe, it slows, it stops. And the Big Bang happens in reverse, meaning we're returning to singularity. This is the very origin of existence, where no space and time exist. However, not all agree to this, like Silva Neves, who said the Big Bang as the initial singularity is only a speculation, that there are many observations in cosmology that the universe went through rapid expansion, but no direct evidence on starting from singularity. Instead, he proposed that the universe undergoes a cycle of contraction and expansion continuously, like the phases of a tide. To this, one could be proven true in many years to come when technology, innovation, and time allow it. Many theories started early in our history and proven decades later as humanity progressed forward. So for the following generations in decades to come, you could answer which is right. What could we do now, knowing all of these and other factors that could affect our end? It is nice that we aim for enjoying the moments and seek those that could enrich our lives. We humans are created to learn, improve, and seek happiness. Despite the depressing news and information around, there's still good in life. It may be hard many times to keep living, but let's keep going on. We may not see what happens in a century after this year, or thousands or millions or billions of years. But we have to live a well-lived life. In the events of destruction, creation arises, with newer, stronger forms of existence. Maybe life could find a new planet, universe, or area to reseed with life in any form we don't know yet. But it's also a good hope that when Earth finally meets its end with all the creatures in it, some forms of beings could bear witness to the once blue planet called Earth now heading to destruction. Well, we don't know for sure, maybe they have some archives or libraries about us. What do you think are not yet included here? What forms of life could be out there to bear witness when all the histories, hatred and greed in our Earth will all be turned to ash and oblivion? Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe and click the notification bell to watch more new releases. See you soon.